Hello everyone, welcome back to Wonder Garden. This is the place where we share orchid care tips to keep your plants healthy and blooming beautifully. When faced with wilted, weakened, or even discarded orchids, many people think they are beyond saving. But wait, don't throw them away just yet. Today, I'm taking this orchid home and will guide you step by step on how to revive a plant that seems beyond hope, helping it recover strongly, grow new roots, produce healthy green leaves, and get ready for a new blooming cycle. First, I will gently remove the orchid from the pot to thoroughly inspect the condition of the roots and the plant itself. The old growing medium is often decomposed, retains moisture for too long, and becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, so replacing it is very important. In addition to the English voice, we have now created dubbed voices in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and Indonesian to help you understand the content more easily. Listen in your preferred language by opening the video and clicking on Settings, the gear icon, to select the appropriate audio language. Next, using sterilized scissors, I carefully cut away any roots that are dry, rotten, or no longer able to absorb nutrients, while also removing old flower spikes so the plant doesn't waste energy sustaining parts that have already completed their role. If you want to learn the secret to caring for Phalaenopsis orchids, make sure to watch this video carefully until the end. Your orchids will become strong, grow new roots, and bloom vibrantly all year round. Next, I will thoroughly rinse the entire plant with clean water to completely remove old media, dirt, and any remaining pathogens clinging to the roots and stem. This step helps keep the root system well aerated, reduces harmful bacteria and fungi, and also allows us to more clearly observe which roots are still healthy and which have been damaged. After rinsing, place the plant in a well-ventilated area and allow the roots to air dry naturally. Next, I will prepare about 500 milliliters of clean water. Then, add about 1/3 teaspoon of sugar and stir well until it is completely dissolved in the water. Sugar acts as an instant energy source, helping stimulate metabolic activity within the leaves, supporting faster recovery of wilted leaves so they become firm again and improve their ability to absorb nutrients. Once the solution is ready, I will pour in the diluted sugar water and soak the leaves for about 20 minutes. During this soaking time, the orchid leaves receive the necessary energy, helping reduce dehydration while restoring their elasticity and vitality. At the same time, I continue preparing the recovery solution for the roots. I take another approximately 500 milliliters of clean water. Then, add 1 teaspoon of yeast and stir well until it is completely dissolved. The yeast helps stimulate the growth of beneficial microorganisms while releasing natural nutrients, creating favorable conditions for the orchid roots to absorb nutrients more effectively. After stirring well, I cover the container and let the solution sit for about 20 minutes to allow the yeast to begin activating. During this time, the yeast multiplies and creates an environment rich in beneficial microorganisms, which is ideal for recovery and for stimulating the growth of new roots. After the orchid leaves have been soaked for a full 20 minutes, I gently remove the plant and prepare for the next step, stimulating root recovery. At this point, I take the sugar water solution that was used to soak the leaves and mix it together with the fermented yeast solution. When these two solutions are combined, they form a mixture rich in energy and beneficial microorganisms, helping the orchid roots absorb nutrients in the most optimal way. Next, I soak the orchid roots in this mixture for about 20 minutes. When the roots are exposed to such a nutrient-rich solution, the recovery process is strongly stimulated. While waiting for the roots to soak, I proceed to treat and prepare the growing medium to ensure a clean and safe environment for the orchid after it recovers. First, I completely submerge the growing medium in clean water. The water helps wash away dust, excess mineral salts, and any remaining impurities in the old medium. Next, I add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda has a mild disinfecting effect, helps inhibit harmful fungi and bacteria, and balances the growing medium, reducing the risk of root rot and diseases after replanting. I then stir well and soak the growing medium in this solution for about 15 to 20 minutes. After soaking the roots for about 20 minutes, I gently remove the orchid and allow the excess water to drain naturally, avoiding any damage to the healthy roots or the new roots that are just beginning to recover. Next, I take out all the treated pine bark and let it drain completely before replanting. This step is very important because a dry, well-aerated medium allows the orchid roots to breathe better, helping prevent waterlogging and root rot. The diluted sugar and yeast mixture used for soaking the roots can be reused to water the roots and growing medium of other orchids in the garden. This is both economical and provides very effective care for the plants. In this solution, the yeast supplies beneficial microorganisms, while the sugar acts as an energy source that helps these microorganisms function more actively. When applied to the base and roots, the mixture creates a favorable environment that stimulates rapid root growth, encourages strong new roots, and enhances the plant's ability to absorb water and nutrients from the growing medium. Sugar also provides an instant energy boost for the plant, promoting metabolic activity so weakened or stressed, orchid leaves gradually become fresher, greener, and thicker over time. Meanwhile, the beneficial microorganisms from the yeast help balance the ecosystem within the growing medium, suppress harmful bacteria, reduce pest and disease issues, and support stable, sustainable plant growth. After both the roots and the growing medium have fully drained, we proceed to plant the orchid into a new pot. The pot I use has drainage holes at the bottom, allowing excess water to drain quickly and thereby preventing waterlogging and root rot. First, I place a few pieces of foam at the bottom of the pot. These pieces help improve drainage while also creating airflow that keeps the orchid roots well aerated, dry, and healthy. Additionally, the foam helps hold the support stake in place, stabilizing the orchid after planting, keeping it upright, reducing movement, and allowing the roots to anchor into the growing medium more quickly. Next, use a tie to secure the plant firmly to the stake, keeping it upright, allowing the roots to anchor into the growing medium and preventing movement during recovery. Then, gently cover the roots and base of the plant with the growing medium, taking care not to break or damage the roots. If you want to learn the secret to caring for Phalaenopsis orchids, make sure to watch this video carefully until the end. Your orchids will become strong, grow new roots, and bloom vibrantly all year round. Finally, I add a thin layer of moss on the surface of the pot to retain moisture around the base while the plant is recovering. This layer helps prevent rapid moisture loss and keeps young roots adequately hydrated for steady growth. But it should be applied lightly to avoid suffocating the base. After planting, place the orchid in a cool, well-ventilated area with gentle, indirect light, and avoid strong sunlight and direct rain. Results after 1 month. Although the leaves are still soft and wrinkled, the orchid has produced many new strong roots. This shows that the plant is actively recovering from the inside, and a healthy root system will be the foundation for the leaves to turn green and firm again. I will continue watering this orchid with the diluted sugar and yeast solution to supply energy and beneficial microorganisms throughout the recovery period. Results after 4 months of care. You can clearly see that the orchid leaves have fully recovered, becoming stronger, greener, and full of vitality compared to the initial stage. This shows that the orchid has successfully recovered from the inside with a healthy root system, lush green leaves, and stable growth. The roots have developed very well and firmly anchored into the growing medium, allowing the plant to absorb water and nutrients to the fullest. When the roots are strong, the leaves are green, and the plant grows in balance, the orchid will develop steadily and be ready to produce buds and bloom in the coming season. A robust root system ensures the plant receives sufficient water and nutrients, resulting in larger, more evenly formed flowers with richer color that last longer on the spike, while also maintaining lush green foliage year-round. Care for your orchids with patience and a genuine love for plants. Over time, your orchid collection will recover, thrive, and bloom beautifully throughout the garden, creating a lush, peaceful, and inspiring green space, just like my orchid garden. Each orchid will shine in its own unique way, coming together to create a garden full of life, where you can enjoy joy, relaxation, and the pure beauty of nature. What do you think about this orchid care method? If you find the video helpful, don't forget to hit like to support the channel, share it with fellow orchid lovers, and subscribe to Wonder Garden so you won't miss more simple yet effective orchid care tips in upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and see you again in our next sharing on Wonder Garden. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Wonder Garden channel. When we grow orchids, we all hope that the plants in our garden stay healthy, produce plenty of flower spikes, bloom brightly, maintain their color, and last a long time on the stems. However, not everyone knows the right way to care for them to encourage more flowers and sustain the plant's long-term vitality. In today's video, I will share with you a new way to care for orchids. Very simple, yet highly effective. This method helps orchids grow more evenly, stimulates the production of more flower spikes, produces bigger and more vibrant blooms, and extends the flowering period. You don't need to buy expensive or complicated fertilizers. With just a little time and gentle care, you can make a noticeable difference in your orchids. Let's get started. Do you have small dried shallots like these at home? Normally, after being stored for a long time, dried shallots start to sprout, and many people choose to throw them away. However, few people know that dried shallots are actually a very valuable ingredient for plants, especially orchids. Today, I will make use of sprouted dried shallots, or if you have dried shallots that haven't sprouted yet, they can still be used perfectly well. No matter their condition, dried shallots still provide very beneficial effects for plants. Dried shallots contain many natural antibacterial compounds, sulfur, vitamins, and minerals that help inhibit fungi, reduce harmful bacteria affecting the roots, and stimulate healthier plant growth. When used properly, dried shallots also help boost plant resistance, promote strong root development, and make the leaves greener and glossier. In addition to the English voice, we have now created dubbed voices in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and Indonesian to help you understand the content more easily. Listen in your preferred language by opening the video and clicking on Settings, the gear icon, to select the appropriate audio language. After finely chopping the dried shallots like this, I put all of the chopped shallots into a clean glass jar. Using a glass container helps prevent contamination, ensures safety, and preserves the nutrients fully for the orchids when the solution is used. Then add 500 milliliters of boiling water. Cover the jar and let it steep for 1 day. The next ingredient I use is rice. Rice is a very familiar ingredient, but it contains a rich amount of B vitamins, minerals, and natural energy that help stimulate root growth and support faster recovery, especially for weak orchids or those that have just been repotted. I will use 3 tablespoons of rice and put them into a clean cup or jar. Then add 500 milliliters of water at room temperature. After adding the water, gently stir and let this solution sit for 1 day. During the soaking process, the rice water will become slightly cloudy. This is a sign that the vitamins and minerals have dissolved and are ready to be used for the orchids. To determine whether an orchid needs watering, the most accurate and safest way is to observe its roots. When the roots appear silvery green, off-white, or slightly gray and feel dry to the touch, this is a sign that the plant has nearly used up its stored water and it is time to water. On the other hand, if the roots are still deep green, plump, and moist, it means the plant does not need watering yet. Watering at this time can easily lead to excess moisture, causing the roots to become suffocated and potentially rot. From my experience growing orchids, each time before applying organic fertilizer, I always water the plant first. Watering beforehand helps moisten the root system evenly, making the roots softer and more active. At that point, the nutrients in the organic fertilizer are absorbed more gently and effectively, helping to avoid root shock or root burn, especially for weak orchids or those that have just been repotted. In addition, once the roots have absorbed enough water, the fertilizer solution will spread evenly throughout the growing medium, allowing the plant to take up nutrients in a stable and safe way. This is a small but very important step that helps orchids recover faster, develop strong roots, and create a good foundation for producing new flower spikes later on. After one day, when both solutions have been soaked for enough time, I carefully strain them to remove all the residue, keeping only the nutrient-extracted liquid. Next, I combine the rice water with the shallot water, creating a nutrient-rich mixture. If you want to learn the secret to caring for Phalaenopsis orchids, make sure to watch this video carefully until the end. Your orchids will become strong, grow new roots, and bloom vibrantly all year round. Finally, I add 1 liter of clean water to dilute the solution. Diluting is very important, as it makes the organic fertilizer gentle, prevents shocking the plant, and allows the orchid to absorb nutrients gradually and more effectively during care. Method 1. You can use this solution to water directly at the base of the orchids. When watering, pour slowly and evenly around the base so the solution gradually soaks into the growing medium. This method helps the nutrients from the shallot and rice water penetrate deeply, nourishing the roots from within and stimulating stronger new root growth. Dried shallots have natural antibacterial properties that help reduce harmful fungi and bacteria affecting the roots, while rice water provides gentle vitamins and minerals that support the plant's recovery and stable growth. With healthy roots, orchids absorb nutrients more effectively, resulting in more flower spikes and longer-lasting blooms. It's recommended to use this base watering method 1 to 2 times a month, and it can be alternated with other organic fertilizers to help the orchids grow evenly and sustainably over time. Method 2. Pour a small amount of the solution into a cup, then use a soft cotton pad to gently wipe the entire orchid leaf, including the top surface and especially the underside of the leaf. Wiping the leaves this way helps remove dust from the surface, allowing the leaves to absorb light more effectively and improving the photosynthesis process. At the same time, the shallot and rice water solution helps reduce fungi, bacteria, and harmful insects like aphids or tiny mites that often hide on the underside of the leaves. For weak, slow-growing, or recently recovering orchids, this leaf wiping method is especially effective. When the leaves are cleaned and healthier, the plant recovers quickly, grows steadily, and encourages the formation of new roots as well as new flower spikes. You should maintain this leaf wiping routine about twice a month. This is a simple care method, but delivers noticeable results, keeping your orchids clean, healthy, and promoting better growth over time. Method 3. Pour the remaining solution into a spray bottle to mist and care for the entire orchid plant. Before spraying, use a soft cotton pad to gently tuck into the leaf axils, especially where the leaves meet the stem. This step helps prevent water from pooling in the crevices, which are spots where fungi and bacteria can easily cause tip rot. Then, mist evenly over the entire plant, covering both the top and underside of the leaves. It's best to do this early in the morning when the weather is cool, allowing the plant to absorb nutrients effectively and giving the leaves enough time to dry during the day. Leave the cotton pads in place for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, remove the cotton pads and check the leaves. If you notice water still pooled on the leaf surface or in the leaf axils, use a cotton pad or soft cloth to gently wipe and absorb the excess solution. This method allows the orchid to absorb nutrients safely, reduces the risk of fungal infections, and keeps the leaves clean, dry, and healthy, creating ideal conditions for the plant to grow quickly and produce more flower spikes. Finally, place the orchid pots in a dry, airy spot with gentle diffused light, avoiding direct, harsh sunlight. Results. After using the fertilizer, After consistently applying this care method for a period of time, you'll notice very clear changes in your orchids. New roots begin to emerge, plump, shiny green, firmly anchoring into the medium, and functioning much more actively. The orchid leaves become thicker, sturdier, and glossy, no longer wrinkled or yellowed as before. Slow-growing orchids gradually recover, grow more steadily, and start forming healthy dormant buds. Most importantly, after proper care, new flower spikes will gradually appear. The flower stems become fuller, more blooms appear per spike, and the flowers last longer. This shows that the organic fertilizer made from shallots and rice works naturally, safely, and sustainably. With just a little patience and regular care, your orchids will reward you with remarkable results, creating a healthy and vibrant orchid garden over time. The flowers you see here were all cared for, alternately using homemade organic fertilizers. I've shared all these care methods in detail on the Wonder Garden channel, so you can refer to them for more options suitable for each cherished orchid in your garden. Every orchid in each growth stage requires different care, and alternating the use of organic fertilizers helps the plant develop in a balanced, sustainable, and long-lasting healthy way. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wonder Garden to not miss out on other simple, safe, and effective orchid care methods. Thank you for watching and accompanying Wonder Garden.